Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is like amazing. I've actually made it like 4 days in a row making a video and actually following through. So that's really huge for me. It is, I guess, a great way to like bring in the new year with I actually want to do at least one video a day regardless of what it's about. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about my history and my background with substance abuse and maybe talk a little bit about some spirituality type stuff. First, I would like to say that I'm gonna, let you guys know a little bit more about me. I'm 28 years old. I have no kids. I went to college when I was in high school. I had at that time what seemed to be a promising future. I was an athlete. I played basketball and I was really, really good at basketball. And so what ended up happening was, like, I don't really talk about this a whole lot, so it could get emotional. I don't know. So we'll see, I guess. But at a very young age, I had some abuse that occurred in my life. And so this, I'm just like allowing you guys to know a little bit more about like how my life headed in that direction. So the abuse that occurred in my life was something that was very traumatic, like something that honestly I know other people who have went through it, but the way that it affected me, I feel like it affected me, I mean, not differently really, but maybe just more significant. Like the lasting impact of the trauma caused a very like destructive self-sabotage type deal to go on in my life. So like I said early on, I went to school. I was a very smart kid. I feel like that's a lot of like what kept me on the right track for a good amount of time. When I was about 14 or 15, I ended up getting into a relationship with somebody who I ended up being in a long-term relationship with. It was like 7-8 years or something. I ended up marrying that person, and then that relationship like went downhill. That was a very abusive, like toxic relationship also. And then during that time, I ended up being abused. Then like we abused drugs together. And then basically from then on, like I hung around a lot of people who were up to no good really. And they didn't really have a path like cut out in life. They didn't have any real like direction or goals. Matter of fact, a large majority of the people that I went to school with are either in jail, dead, or I'm not exactly sure about the rest of them, but I don't really have much contact with anybody from high school. So as a teenager, like I said, I went to college when I was in high school, so that in itself ended up being a very like lonely road to travel. Like my friends were in school when I was like out of school. I would go to school for maybe like an hour or two a day, 4 days a week. So the rest of that time, like I had to fill with doing something, and I didn't really have like role models. It's hard for me to describe exactly like the whole entire like scenario, because I did use and abuse drugs so long that it's hard for me to put those pieces together. But I'm almost 19 months sober, and so some of that memory is coming back, and it's also like helping me to realize like I've came a very long way, and it took some time, it really did, but it's all been worth it, that's for sure. So for me, it's hard to talk about that because it's the reality of the situations. Like, the drugs ended up pulling me into a, cycle of being with people who were abusive, and it's hard for me to really put it into words, like the power that it has over people, and it's literally like a demon. It's like a leech, like a soul-sucking entity, entity or whatever. So throughout my early adulthood, I didn't really have much direction. Like, when I graduated high school, I didn't end up going back to school for a couple years. I didn't have any real plans for nothing. So really all I did was do drugs and hang out with people. And a lot of the times actually I ended up by myself. So another reason why I'm enjoying doing these videos is because I get to talk about some of that stuff. Like, some of the things that like go on in my mind, actually I like being able to record it, and then I get to watch it, and then you guys get to watch it too, and we're all like I'm just kidding, I don't know, but so long story short, I wrecked a good amount of my life in my early 20s, mid 20s. So and I hurt a lot of people. Like, I hurt myself a lot, and I it was my family they were ready to like bury me basically, and I've come to terms with like that's the reality of addiction, is losing people. I've been in and out of jail, so anybody who knows me, knows anything about me, it was kind of like a vicious cycle. It was like in and out of jail. Like, I didn't really get in trouble for a whole lot of like crimes. It was more just like drug related stuff. So that has definitely made an impact on my life and what I can do in my life. I can still do what I went to school for, but I sit and I think a lot about what I can't do, and like, no matter what I do, I can't change that. That's a defect in me. Like, it's obvious that those things weren't meant for me anyway, or I would be able to do those things, if that makes sense. Long story short, in and out of jail, in and out of institutions, in and out of the hospital. I can't tell you how many times I've been to the hospital because of my health, because of drugs, and like not being honest with the doctors, and not being honest with myself. It's sad, really, thinking back on all of that. Like, it was so like damaging and so like I said, destructive. And after living a life like that, I've had a lot of time to be able to like sit and reflect on life, and my entire life revolved around drugs. And one thing that I've always been like really grateful for is I didn't have any children, and I still don't, like I said. And like, it eats me up to see people have to deal with their family life, you know what I mean, and having kids and not being able to take care of them because of their disease, and simply not wanting to put themselves first long enough to get themselves together to be able to take care of their kids. I've never really been one to look down on people, especially in addiction, who don't take care of their kids, and not just because it's, a disease, it's really because it's a sickness. It's an illness. And one of the things, don't get me wrong though, one of the things that I know for a fact is that it takes a lot to overcome that. And even if like you have to go to jail to end up, taking your life back, taking control back of your life, it can happen though. Like, people can actually turn their whole life around. And I would like to like say, like, for me, my whole entire life is different. I never was independent. I was never able to hold a job. I was never able to make money or make good enough money to be able to take care of myself at all, ever. So I went through like a cycle of drinking, like smoking weed, doing basically all of the hard drugs, and like looking back on that, it was definitely an experience, but it was definitely not something that I would want to go through again. I just wanted to let you guys know like a little bit more about me, and like a little bit more in depth of the my past, actually, you know what I mean? So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a little bit more about me, and if you guys have any like questions or whatever, leave them in the comments. And I definitely plan on doing more videos that have to do with addiction, and talking about the recovery process, and talking about what that life of destruction was like. And you know, I've literally lived like hell on earth, and I lived in it for a very long time. But I also have like some things to speak on regarding like a spiritual awakening. So that is another thing that I want to bring some content to you guys about, is like spiritual healing and spiritual awareness, and things like that. So if you guys are interested in things like that, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, leave me some comments, and I would totally appreciate it. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.